Hello, fellow Springfieldians. This is Paradox 2767, and today, let's chat about Bleeding Gums Murphy. Though you might not recognize this Simpsons character by name, even the most casual fan of the series is sure to have seen him in passing. If not in the show's opening sequence from seasons 2 to 20, then as a mainstay on Lisa's bedroom wall for the last 3 decades. Recently, my saxophonist wife and I watched episode 17 of season 33 for the first time, The Sound of Bleeding Gums, and we were delighted to get a little extra backstory on the character we've come to love. I popped online to see how the rest of the world reacted to the episode, and was surprised to find more complaints than anything. The reason for this reaction? That the writers seem to have retconned the character's backstory since his first appearance in Moaning Lisa, the 6th episode of season 1. While I don't disagree that the show's writers appear to have taken liberties with the history of old Oscar Gums Murphy, I enjoyed the sound of bleeding gums so much I got to wondering how the new information we're given in the episode could be taken as part of the show's original canon. I boiled the complaints I saw online down to 3 main points, and thought I'd discuss them each with you today. Perhaps the most common complaint I found centers around episode 22 of season 6, Round Springfield, in which a Bleeding Gums on his deathbed tells Lisa he doesn't have much family, save a younger brother he long ago lost touch with. Indeed, later in that episode, only Lisa shows up to his funeral to see him buried. In season 33's The Sound of Bleeding Gums, however, Lisa discovers that the character actually has a son, Monk Murphy, a deaf man working as a mentor at a center for deaf children. Through the reminiscing of both Monk and some former friends of Bleeding Gums at the Jazz Hole, we're given a lot of extra backstory on the man, including how close he was to his son when Monk was growing up. But if that were the case, why would Bleeding Gums have told Lisa he was all on his own in season 6? The way I see it, Bleeding Gums must have been so estranged from his son by the time of his death, Monk didn't even hear of his father's sickness until after the funeral. After all, Bleeding Gums' relationship with his brother was so non-existent that the two of them didn't even recognize each other when Dr. Hibbert came to check up on his dying patient, so this avoiding of his family wouldn't be a first for him. And naturally, it would have been much easier for Bleeding Gums to simply not mention his son to Lisa, the small girl who so looked up to him, instead of getting into their strained relationship. In fact, it wouldn't be the first time he fudged the facts a bit for Lisa's sake, if other online theorists are to be believed. Some speculate that the $1,500 a day habit Bleeding Gums admits to having had in Round Springfield is in reference not to the Fabergé egg buying addiction depicted in the show, but to a more obvious addiction to drugs. Some extra evidence for his estrangement from his son might be the expensive-looking arts and crafts era house Monk is shown owning in the suburbs, far away from the more urban area surrounding the Springfield Bridge where Bleeding Gums used to play his sax. Speaking of Dr. Hibbert, that's another complaint I found a lot online. In season 33's The Sound of Bleeding Gums, him and his brother are shown together in a flashback as much younger men, talking at the hospital about baby Monk's deafness diagnosis. Online comments are quick to point out that the brothers should have recognized each other back then, at least 20 years before Bleeding Gums' death, but I say that only points to the prolonged history of those brothers' estrangement. Clearly, Bleeding Gums left his family behind to pursue a career in jazz long before his younger brother and future doctor, Julius, could form a clear memory of him. The last major complaint I read online concerns the discography of Bleeding Gums Murphy. In season 6's Round Springfield, he tells Lisa his only ever album was Sax on the Beach. However, 27 seasons later in The Sound of Bleeding Gums, Lisa's shown enjoying other albums of his, like Broken Elevator Blues and the single Can't Face Tomorrow. I believe this can be explained quite simply if we consider that Bleeding Gums might have modestly only been counting full albums, not singles or LPs, and that all the other music of his that Lisa enjoys in The Sound of Bleeding Gums fits into one of the latter 2 categories. And so, with all that being considered, I don't feel as though The Sound of Bleeding Gums too terribly alters the past of Lisa Simpson's jazz idol, and I'm happy about that. He's an ever more interesting character, and I'm always happy to learn more about him. The tragic irony of his estrangement from his jazz-loving brother in Round Springfield is only enhanced by the deafness of a son who so looks up to him in this much newer episode, just as the kindness he showed his biggest fan in Moaning Lisa shines only brighter in light of the love we've now learned he shared with his son and many friends. Though Bleeding Gums Murphy might have said that the blues isn't about feeling better, it's about making other people feel worse and making a few bucks while you're at it, with his big heart, he couldn't help but do the opposite.